that was once colored ombre, chocolate, and grays had now changed to jet black. Her beach, wavy long hair rested on her shoulders. She lifted a clipboard in her hands. Pretty dark brown doll-like eyes danced, reviewing a document. She looked up and shouted,
"Mr. Wong!"
While fixing the settings on his Rolex watch, a gentleman with a shaved head and wearing glasses looked up at her. Roughly around his late 40s, he was sitting in a wheelchair. His knee was wrapped up in bandages. He wheeled himself closer to her.
Hi, I'm Colin Wong.
With a warm, beautiful smile, Arya walked over to him and reached her hand out to his.
"Hi, my name is Arya. I'll be your physical therapist."
He smiled back while reaching his hand out to greet her.
It's nice to meet you.
She maneuvered the clipboard closer to her chest. Focusing her attention on him, she sincerely asked,
"How are you feeling today?"
I've had better days.
He looked down at his knee and then back up to her.
You know, most healing comes from the mind.
She smiled.
"I agree."
She looked over the report and added,
"It says you tripped down some steps. It's been about 2 weeks since your accident. To help me understand, what level of pain do you have? Would you say it was subacute pain or acute pain?"
He looked confused.
I'm sorry, can you explain to me the difference?
An acute pain is severe. This would mean the pain level that you are in after 1 to 7 days after your accident is probably on a scale from 1 to 10 and 8. You would have to continue to rest before I can start working with you. We want to make sure that the bone structures are healed in your knee before initiating any movement towards it. A subacute pain generally occurs 2 to 6 weeks after the injury. The pain would be less. On a scale, it would be around a 5. We could start today with gentle movements. I could be off on the pain scale, but I can do a gentle test to see what you think."
He chuckled.
No worries on the pain scale. I feel the pain that I'm at, it's around a 4. We can totally start doing something today.
He took his glasses off to clean them.
It's amazing how the brain works and how a person can heal themselves. Have you ever heard of the film Bleed for This?
"No, what's it about?"
He put his glasses back on.
Based on a true story, Vinny Paz is an American professional boxer known as the Tasmanian Devil. The former professional boxer who has held world titles, lightweight and light middleweight, had a fatal car accident. His neck was actually broken. He was told he could never walk again. What made his story so profound was that he never listened to anyone but himself. He believed he could walk again, and not only that, but box again. The one person that he convinced him to help him to recover was a rounded boxing trainer, Kevin Rooney. I don't want to go into all the details, but it's an incredible story about a man with a spinal injury stepping in the ring again.
Arya added.
That's an incredible story. It definitely makes one think of the possibilities when they really believe.
Yeah.
Well, I know your injury isn't that severe, but I'll be your coach training you to get back to yourself again.
He laughed.
Thanks. I know I'll be back on my feet in no time.
Arya said,
Have you ever read this book called Evolve Your Brain, The Science of Changing Your Mind?
No. Sounds intriguing. Who's it by?
Joe Dispenza. A remarkable story, too.
The name sounds familiar.
He was also in this documentary, What the Bleep Do We Know?
I've heard of it. What's the story?
From a bike accident, his spine was crushed. 4 surgeons agreed that the only option to avoid paralysis would be surgery. He refused to do it. Within 10 weeks, he was back on his feet, living a normal life, completely healed and pain-free. I believe it's a phenomenon on how the mind over matter works. Over 20 years of studying the brain, mind, and consciousness, he said the human being has the ability to change. Not only do I believe what he said, but I believe God plays a role in everything, too.
I like what the author says. The mind can change the outcome of so many things. As far as God, I guess you could say that I'm still trying to understand the calculations of God's role. One of my favorite quotes that I live by is, "By my soul, I swear there is no power in the tongue of man to alter me."
That's a great quote. Who's it by?
Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. I define who I am and what I will become.
One of my favorite quotes is, "For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit."
Good quote. Where's that from?
Bible. Romans 8, 5 through 6.
Trying to avoid talking about the Bible, he looked down at his watch. Puzzled, he tapped on it.
That's funny. My watch stopped working.
Arya smiled.
I have that effect towards people.